Another former giant has fallen as Morocco are bringing more and more joy. Sofiane Amrabat has announced himself as the greatest central midfielder of all time along the way. Am I being hyperbolic? You decide. What's up, guys? I'm Adrian. Welcome back to the channel for some daily World Cup coverage. Thanks for joining me. You guys know the deal at this point, so subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. Morocco were absolutely the better side in the first half against Spain in their round of 16 clash, as they were simmering and simmering but not really getting any great chances until late in the half. That header that went over the goal in particular being the most dangerous for Morocco. And they did a fantastic job in playing down the wings, and when Spain had the ball, they didn't give Busquets a single second to breathe in that first half, as he, of course, is absolutely vital to how Luis Enrique wants the Spanish team to build their attack. Take him out, there's still Rodri there, who of course is no slouch, but you punch a hole in Enrique's game plan when you take Busquets out of the game. The 4-5-1 when Morocco was without the ball ensured that Busquets was surrounded by three players at all times, forcing Spain to the wings rather than allowing them to cook through the middle with Pedri, Gavi, and Asensio. While Morocco looked strongest in that first half, that's not to say that Spain were completely washed, because they weren't at all. Spain's pressing and counter-pressing was great in that first half. This match in general was an athletic match. The players were absolutely flying around the pitch, going full force into tackles to win the ball back. It really did have that local derby feel to it on the pitch and in the stands. But yes, Spain were good at pressing, while most of Morocco's problems were self-inflicted in the first half. Bono and the fellas trying to pass their way out the back, but Spain did well to cover all options, and that forced errors and potential opportunities for Spain, the best of which, when it hit the bar, was in fact offside, by quite a bit. For Morocco, their opportunities came in transition. The one-on-one ability of Ziyech and Boufal was also helping to unlock Spain's defense at times, but it was mostly in transition that they would try to exploit Spain's high line. Bit of a chess match in that first half, no? In the second half, Spain started to dominate the ball a lot more, while they had 70% possession in the first half as well. But what I mean by that is that Morocco's dangerous counters from the first half, they were fewer and further between, as Spain were occupying the Morocco half more and more, and with the changes that Luis Enrique made, such as bringing on Morata and Nico Williams, they suddenly seemed to have a little bit more teeth in the attack. Jordi Alba was also roving forward far more and pinning Hakimi back a little bit for much of that second half. As Spain were buzzing around them, with Nico playing a nice ball in that Olmo and Morata got their wires crossed on, Morata being played in behind and hitting a dangerous ball across the face of goal for, well, nobody to meet. During all of this, Morocco was pretty quiet, but once they made some changes themselves, they got their energy back, and a couple of decent attacks down Morocco's right led to dangerous crosses. Speaking of which, in added time of the second half, a free kick was placed perfectly at the back post for Morata, and who knows what he was trying to do, man. Head at goal, head across goal. Regardless, he headed it out as if he was defending and has resigned to conceding a corner. But Morocco had chances late as well. Unai Simon almost made a gaffe of the ages. Bono himself had to make a save from a dangerous free kick into the box. It was a great finish to this match. It was a really enjoyable match. I haven't mentioned him yet, and that has not been deliberate at all, but he deserves it based on his play during the entire tournament. Sofiane Amrabat, what a player, man. The Fiorentina man has been at his absolute best at this tournament, on top of one of the top performing midfielders for me, as the guy is everywhere, and the guy is an octopus. He gets his tentacles all over you and gets his legs in for a tackle, a block, an interception. He's had an incredible tournament, and along with Saiss and Aguerd, were big reasons as to why Morocco pushed things to extra time. In fact, this was the first time Morocco had made it to extra time at the World Cup, as this was only the second time in their history that they even made it to the round of 16. Morocco had the best chance of extra time as Shadira was played in behind, rode a challenge, and honestly would have been unhappy with his finish as it was almost right at Unai Simon, but credit to Simon for making himself big and standing up to the shot well. The second half of extra time was breathless stuff once again, and I found myself thinking that both teams need a striker, man. Either side were begging for a genuine goal threat, as Morata's finishing and general play had regressed to the mean after being economic and efficient Alvaro for the first 3 matches. For Morocco, Shadira got in behind, but again fluffed his lines for Morocco. Just hit the ball, man, for goodness sakes. He just allowed the defenders to get back on him. Morata, he messed up playing a normal through ball. My God, both sides were struggling in the final third for any kind of quality. And to be fair to him, Sarabia had the worst chance of all. And yet he came the closest, hitting the post from the most acute of angles. Maybe would have been brought back for offside anyway, but still. Both teams had it tough out there when it came to an end product, and so another shootout it was. And we'll get through this quickly. Morocco converted their first, only for Sarabia to hit the post. That's twice on the night for him. Ziyech, straight down the middle, my favorite. Carlos Soler, Yacine Bounou, Montreal's finest, with a huge save. Simon saved the next for Spain to hand them a lifeline. Busquets must convert his penalty, otherwise it's trouble for Spain once again. And what does Busquets do? He fails to beat Bono, meaning Morocco needed one more goal, as the Spanish born and raised but Moroccan at heart Achraf Hakimi stepped up and hit the most casual of penalties you could imagine, straight down the middle, my favorite again, and he won it for Morocco. So for the first time in their history, Morocco advanced to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, and based on their defensive performance, you absolutely cannot begrudge them of this. If they find someone to finish off their chances in the attack, they will be a genuinely terrifying team to face. And who would they be facing? Where do I begin? So if you've been watching the channel for a long time now, you'll know that there are 2 things that I stand by when it comes to the Portuguese national team. Fernando Santos often makes the wrong decisions with how he builds the team, and Cristiano Ronaldo holds the team back in a sense due to how the focus becomes on him when he's on the pitch. The players play for Ronaldo rather than making the right decisions on the pitch. They default to him. Well, Santos rectified 2 things that bother me about him: his negative tactics and playing Ronaldo no matter the form he's in. I'm sorry, but Ronaldo has only scored from open play against Sheriff Tiraspol and Everton this season. I don't know if you deserve to start, as unfortunate as that is for him, not to mention how the team plays worse with him on there. And so Gonçalo Ramos got the start for Portugal, which was a surprise for me, with João Felix, Bernardo, and Bruno all playing around him, and of course they looked far more dynamic in this match than any other at the tournament. And wouldn't you know it, Gonçalo Ramos would seize the opportunity with aplomb, scoring a ridiculous goal in the 20th minute as he smashed it into the top corner. He had no business scoring from there, but he justified Fernando Santos' decision early in the game. Later, the old man would score. Not that old man though, but another legendary old man in Pepe, getting a goal from a corner for Portugal, and Switzerland were 100% outplayed all half long. Portugal were brilliant, they were liquid, João Felix was dangerous on the ball, Bernardo and Bruno were as dangerous as ever with their vision and their passing, and in the second half, let's just say I was a very, very happy boy. First, there was Gonçalo Ramos getting his second goal with an audacious little poke to nutmeg Jan Sommer, making it 3-0 Portugal. Oh, and a stunning shimmy and a ball from Dalot created that, absolutely justifying his start ahead of Cancelo as well. That sort of went under the radar. Akanji would get one back after Rafael Guerreiro had scored. You know, Gonçalo Ramos dishing wide for Guerreiro, and he finished past Sommer. 2 goals and 1 assist for Gonçalo Ramos at that point, and what would make it all better? Yes, my boy, the Benfica boy, linked up with João Felix for the second time in this match, and he got his hat trick with 3 great finishes, the third being a scooped little dink over Jan Sommer. Wow. World Cup knockout round goals for Ronaldo, 0. For Messi, 1. For Gonçalo Ramos of Benfica, 3. And at 5-1, he was taken off and replaced by Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo hit 1 free kick into the wall, and he did manage to score from open play in this match, but he was miles offside, unfortunately for him. I don't know if it was a change in dynamics in the attack or just the natural dwindling down of the match itself, but once the subs were all made, the attack just wasn't as fluid anymore. Until Rafael Leão came on and scored an absolute beauty, stunning curling effort from the edge of the box. Sommer with no chance, 6-1 Portugal. They destroyed them. So yeah, if you're Fernando Santos, you want to continue with this lineup against Morocco more or less. Perhaps some added cover on the left side of the pitch could be necessary to contend with Hakimi and Ziyech, but going forward, as far as the attack is concerned, you don't need to change anything. Sure, the defense, midfield may need adjusting, but the attack, leave it. I had tears in my eyes as we were finally watching Portugal play to their potential, given all of the ludicrous attacking talent that they've boasted for a couple of years now. After years also of getting abuse for daring to say that Ronaldo shouldn't start, it's vindicating to see what can happen when you play the players who will contribute to a better overall team performance rather than just trying to maximize one player's output, which was kind of how Portugal had been playing in recent years. There was a time when Ronaldo was an automatic starter and Portugal would have been much, much worse without him. But the time had come to allow the new fellas to have a go, and to say that they seized this opportunity by the scruff of the neck would be an understatement. Best performance from Portugal of the tournament, best one I've seen in years from them, in fact, and maybe one of the best performances at this tournament in general. It's up there for debate. For Switzerland, I really thought they were going to be more difficult. Again, two things can be true. Portugal were amazing going forward, and Switzerland's defense was all over the place, which, when you're speaking about Switzerland, that is usually never the case for them. Portugal will advance to take on a very, very difficult Moroccan side. That should be a fascinating one. All right, guys, that was exhilarating. A shootout and then a shootout from Portugal of a different kind. Thanks as always for watching. I'll have my quarterfinal preview out to you guys tomorrow morning, my time. So I hope to see you soon. Ciao.